back now. I cut the neck off my bike. 40 and some change is 40 minus 90 is 50. Numbers and math. Ah! Ah! Quit it! Alright, well I think my next course of action here is I need to stretch the down tubes up to meet the neck. Now I think first step I'm going to do there is I'm going to have to cut my little support bars out, and hopefully when I do that this thing doesn't spring open on me. And then after that, planning on cutting across here, then we'll slide this up. Probably have to recope this angle to make it fit. Get it up there fitting with the neck, and then I plan on making some slugs to join these two back together. And just kind of doing some rough measurements. Probably gonna need to stretch this up, I think about 3 3/4 inches or so ish. Got that piece of the down tube cut out. So now I need to make some slugs so I can extend it up to meet the neck. And we've got an inside diameter about 1090. We'll call it 1090. And I was really hoping that this would just be a 1-inch ID. I could just drop a piece of 1-inch DOM tubing to use that as my slug, but it's a little bit of a loose fit. So I need to turn out some slugs. When digging through the scrap pile, all I could find was this gigantic freaking bolt. And it is 1/150. So I'll need to chuck this up in the lathe and turn it down a little bit. I was hoping to avoid using the lathe just because it's time consuming. I'm not very well practiced in it, but it's time to practice. There, Spent a little time in front of the lathe, and I got these 2 slugs cut out, and they fit pretty nice right inside of that neck piece. And they also fit pretty nice down here inside of the down tubes, just like so. So I think my next task here is going to be recutting this joint to match up with the angle of the neck. So let's get started on that. I've got this joint kind of jigged up, and well, it was dumb enough to work once. Maybe it'll be dumb enough to work twice. It's one way to find out. Well, it was making a lot of noise. It was letting me know it wasn't happy, but I think that might be good enough. Just like the last joint, you know, I could trim it up with a file and a flap disc wherever I need to, but I think that'll work. Well, it didn't work quite as smoothly as the neck joint did for the backbone, but still, it gets me in the ballpark. I can chase the rest of that out with a flap wheel and be alright. Heck yeah. Alright. Did a little trim here, a little trim there, a little back and forth. Trying to be patient and take my time, and that's fitting up pretty good. I'm gonna call that weldable. Now I just gotta figure out how to fill in that space. Oh yeah. Come here. I ain't done with you yet. Come on. Quit being heavy. Ow, hot. Kee-yo. There, got the spacer tubes done. These were recycled from the back end of the bike that we chopped off. We're going in a full-on cannibal mode now. I don't care. Yeah, these are gonna fill in the gaps right there, so it just looks like one continuous piece of tube. It's pretty similar to how it was done down here, except for just doing it up here. Cool, moving on. I got all my parts prepped and ready to rock and roll. See if I can get this fit together. So I kind of built a ship in the basement here. Not exactly sure how I'm going to get all this together at the same time, but I'll give it a try, I guess. Okay, that far. That's okay. Okay, cool. That one is more or less where I want it. Now this one's going to be tricky. Not quite sure how to slide that slug up inside of 1, 2, 3 tubes at the same time. I really didn't plan this one. Should have thought this out better. Oh well. Chopper, they said, would be great. I love it. Now let's get this tube, one that kind of likes to slide wherever it wants to go. Try to get it to cooperate. You fucking bitch. Let's try that again. Okay, you good now? Okay, cool. Oh man, that one had me ready to throw stuff. Woo! Just throw a tack on that before it decides to fall down again. So my little trick so I can get this slug aligned while it's inside of the tube, to get it where I wanted it vertically, so I drew little Sharpie lines wherever I wanted my rosette welds to line up. So there's a little Sharpie line there, there, and there. So I just went ahead and tapped the neck up, tapped this joint up until it met the neck really nice and tight, just how I like it. Now I can adjust these sleeves to get them right where I want them, where I've got just a little bit of a gap that I can weld in. And we will make all of these pieces become one. We are finally tacked back together. And I know my backdrops kind of suck here, but yeah. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that. But you know what I'm eager to do? Pull this thing off the jig. I want to get the back wheel and the front end mocked up on it, so I can just check out the stance and see what she looks like. Well, so another reason why I was in a hurry to get this thing put together, at least tacked together so I can get it mocked up into this stage, is I knew I was going to need longer forks. And this way I can measure to see how much longer forks I need so I can get them ordered today and have them ready for next weekend. I kind of measured the forks, so I got, 2 inch over, 4 inch over, 6 inch over, and I'll just slide these down and clamp them down here and here. And then get an eyeball, see how things are looking. That's how we would look with a 6 over front end. I think I like it. All right. It is the next weekend, and the parts genie showed up in his big brown box truck. From the Brothers TC, my 6-over 39mm extended fork tubes. Those sure look like fork tubes. And for the patented Misfit Ranch sticker report, the TC Bros knocked it out of the park. Got me a sticker, cool, but not only that, I got a keychain! And it's one of those like flexible rubber ones that I like because they fit in your pocket and they don't scratch up your paint when you're flying down the road. So TC Bros, good job. My plan for today is to get the fork sliders off of the old bike, get them installed on here. I'm not going to do a full fork rebuild yet. That's going to come later. This is just to kind of mock things up, test fit, make sure I'm happy with the way everything's looking. Shiny parts. All right, I got my 6-over fork tubes installed on the lowers. Basically just swap things over. Here's the original tube. So yeah, we're a little longer. So let's go ahead and get these, test fit on here, and see how things are looking. Right, buddy? Hey, look at that. Dude, it looks like a thing. Well, for the first time in like all week, the rain decided to finally quit and the sun came out. And good timing too, because I just got the front end on this thing. Decided to roll it outside and take a good look at it. Yep, this is what I wanted. A little bit of rake. Not too much, not too little. I wanted the lower rails to be parallel with the ground. Yep, that's the look I was after. Well, since I like the way everything is looking, I went ahead and broke everything down, got it back on the frame jig, hopefully for the last time. Let's fire up the TIG and melt this thing together. Finally, welded up. Hooray! Not the prettiest welds in the world, but I think they're going to be strong. Except for that one turned out okay. So I got this tube welded in, looking good. I also chopped out the front motor mount. I need to go through and grind the rest of these welds down. I'll take care of that later. But for now, I'm going to get started making these gusset plates. So, cue the time lapse. it is the next day. Welding is done. I should have kept track of how many filler rods I went through. That was a lot of welding, but it's done. And just a little sanity check before I move on any further. We're still at 25 degrees. Still at our 50, i.e. 40 degrees. Cool. That tells me that this thing stayed true while it was welding. All right, let's pull it out of the jig. Hopefully for the last time. Right? Right. All right. Hell yeah. The frame is finally done. Minus, motor mounts, but I got to get motor in the frame before I can make the motor mounts, and that damn sure wasn't going to happen with it, 4 feet up on the table. Ah! Oh no!
Simba.
Well, finally caught a break in the rain. Enough to roll this thing outside. Of course, got the engine back in it. Got the front and rear end put back together. I'm digging it, man. Yeah. That turned out exactly like I wanted it to. Well, guys, I think this is probably a good place to wrap this one up. We got a lot of work to do, but I'm really excited about the direction that this thing's going. So as always, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. You know what it needs? There. This is why I don't get anything done. I just get easily distracted. Whoops! I don't know, I'm kind of partial to the Sesame Street Band-Aids myself.